Okay, everybody, the next thing to do is get ready for the engine to go in. Another thing on our list is going to be cleaning up this engine bay. So there's two main things that we're going to be doing in here. It is painting, and it is going to be re-looming all the wires. So stick around, we'll show you our plan of attack and take you through from start to finish. As we already have in the write-up, we have our image or our kind of concept of what we're going to be doing in here. But it is to complement the blue. It is going to be like a hyper yellow engine bay, and it is going to be accompanied by tucking all these wires back and re-looming the entire Warrior harness. So just had that hurricane blow through here, got a lot of stuff to clean up, but essentially on most Volvo vehicles, when your engine's out or even when it's not out, you can see that the attention at the factory for paint is not that great, right? They save some money and they kind of just spray you know, what's going to be seen in there. So there's a lot of parts, especially over on the frame rails, down in here, on the inside, even the back side of the fenders, all of this stuff that's visible that doesn't get a good coat of paint. So what we're going to do is we're going to get as much of this out of the way as we can. We're going to start with the top wiper cowl, which will require taking the wipers out. We're going to pull the fenders so that we can get you know, some good action inside there as well. We'll go ahead and pull off the bumpers, the headlights, the plastic trims. We're going to take a look when we get to this side on probably pulling out the fuse box, because essentially it's not really hooked to anything that's not plugged, not already unhooked, and see if we can get, you know, most of this out of the way. So that's where we're going to start. And then we're going to prep the surface, do a pressure wash again, do a super clean degreaser in here, and then one by one we'll probably start moving through and just pick a side and say, okay, we're going to work strictly on this side, and then we'll work strictly on the front core support area, and then over here we'll strictly work on the driver's side, scuffing and prepping for paint, getting paint laid down, and then getting a solid, really thick, good clear coat with a hardener, color sanding and buffing that all the way up, and then again tucking all those wires and then re-looming. So what we're going to do now is we are going to get the front bumper, or I'm sorry, the grill off, the front bumper, the headlights, the two fenders, and any of the plastic trim, such as the one there on the front, as well as the one there on the wiper cowl, and see where that takes us. Okay, front bumper is off, both fenders are off, front plastic is off, wiper cowl is off, wipers are off. Now, I think what we're going to do is strictly focus on this passenger side here. While those are climate control hard lines, there are clips and brackets. We're going to see how much we can get off of that inner fender well. And if not off, then how far can we move what's there out of the way so that it's not going to be blocking us for prepping and painting and clearing and sanding. But essentially all of this, and this front runner across here will be painted because that's what is visibly blue or lack thereof from the factory, and we want to get to our new color. Okay, we have gotten most of the wiring harness out. This was everything that went over to the passenger side, power steering pump, crash indicator thingamadoober, fog lights, HID ballast, a whole bunch of stuff. It looks like there's this one wiring harness here that goes up and around. It powers the windshield wiper motor and whatever the heck that thing is. Can't get that out. It's gonna be enough play to kind of keep that out of the way. Hard lines are really the only things that we can't get out. So they're enough away from the, when you pop them up, you can kind of move them, right? There is enough play to wrap those in foil or something else and still get a decent paint job without having to break climate control lines. So our next step is, I guess, get the pressure washer down here, hit the super clean on there, and then pressure wash it again, and then start doing a scuff on everything. And once we're done there, we may actually just follow along here too, because that's pretty easy to do, and it kind of just blends into that. So we finally got most of the harness out. We got the main engine harness out too. So there's a lot more room in here, but we decided it's time to get ready before the weather changes. So we have our super clean, and we went ahead and we've done a couple batches here on this passenger inside, and this super clean foaming we've used on a lot of stuff. The guys at the local parts store recommended it, and this stuff really works great. So we've done a couple sprays, and you can see just all that stuff just melts right off. So we'll go ahead and hit this with a water sponge and try to, you know, get any of the bigger stuff that's just sitting there, and then we'll analyze maybe a few spots we might want to super clean and let that sit, or we may get the pressure washer out to do like a final blast off on it. So we'll kind of see where this water wash down takes us. So the super clean did pretty well, right? It pretty much ate up all that grease, and then we did hit it with a pressure washer so that we could you know, just kind of get that final touch. So what we're going to do now is I think we're going to break this into a few sections. We're not going to try to win this whole race in one run. So I think we're just going to really focus on the passenger side. So right now we're going to do a full scuff of everything that's getting paint, and then we'll come back and kind of show you that. That shouldn't take too long. And next will be masking with both paper and tape, and then just kind of removing any bolts that are sitting up there, putting those aside for now. And then I think we might be ready for some color. It has been about 2 hours, but pretty much everything has been scuffed down. We went through 2 pads. We can see more paint, a lot of stuff, but what we're left with is, you know, nice scuffed up surface. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit that. We'll hit top of this all the way through, which is really what's visible. It's just kind of that lip there, and then we're gonna come, and we've gotten, you know, all this, all that. We're gonna stop right there, and then when we do the driver's side, we'll come, you know, to that little section. But we've gotten in every nook and cranny and hole in there, and pretty much anything that we could see, even, you know, down there. So next thing is to get some alcohol, rub this thing down, and then start masking with our paper and our tape. And then these hard lines we're going to wrap in foil or saran wrap, or, you know, something of that nature. So that, and then final alcohol, and then still early enough, maybe get some color down. About 2 hours or so to fully mask everything that we're doing. Just a little lip there, everything else. Paper got in there from the front as well, and that's really tough, but luckily there's nothing behind it except for that carpet, so we peeled that back, and we just need to hit an area kind of tucked back in there. So I think there's one more harness that creeps through. We're going to get that from the inside the fender well, and then we're going to do a final alcohol, and again, just you know, this lip up here all the way around, and then this under panel all the way back to about the booster. So everything else has been peeled back and taped, so you know, we should be good there. First layer of color is going on. We're going a little thin, but we are noticing that It is taking a lot to cover up this blue. So we had originally purchased 3 cans, but I think we're gonna probably dust probably 2 of them just on this, and then we'll probably want to, you know, probably get at least 2 or 3 more on standby, and then any touch up and all of that. So we're just going to keep building it up. We're going to grab those lines here, kind of pull them back and try to spray behind it, you know, make sure to get a nice even coat. But this color is pretty dang nice. It's got the right shine. It's not too gold, it's not too yellow, you know, so we're happy with it. Took a lot of product to cover this, but we were able to get pretty much from here all the way across. Just that little lip hangs out. All of that. Switch hands. All the way back down. Taped off it where it meets the brace there. All of that, and nice and low. All the way up. So this was actually 3 cans of product, but we wanted to go pretty heavy. Cal covers all that. Cal actually covers all of that except for the VIN. What we're gonna do is we have a can of brilliant blue metallic, so we're gonna, and these VIN number is indented, so we're just gonna paste it on and then wipe it off, and that blue should just suck right into the indents of the VIN. So that's gonna look cool. But yeah, I think 3 cans, coverage is good. We even got, can't see because it's getting dark, but we got all in there. But overall, thinking that's a victory. So we're not gonna show you the rest. We'll show you it maybe when we pick up on clear coat, but we're gonna have to go back down. Pretty much we just have to do that top, that whole fender well, same thing. So we use 3 cans on this fender well, and then this and this. We're probably gonna grab 3 cans. I don't wanna get 2 in and then realize that we need a little more. So we have that, and then we have all our clear that's showing up here in a couple days. And so we'll bring you back on the clear process over here. And then we'll bring you back when all the tape and paper's off. Here we are back, clear stage. 2K, we've already popped the hardener in there, mixed it up. This stuff's pretty, it's pretty dense, so we're gonna use a bigger mask than what we used just on the initial product. But we're ready to go. We started messing with the VIN plate. We had some issues. This is fully exposed, so we're gonna come back and we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do with that. If we grind it to bare metal, do something special. So we'll come back. We're not gonna let that slow us down because this is ready for the next stage. So we're gonna knock that out and show you what it looks like after we put some gloss. So let's just take a final look here. Product alone, no gloss. Sun is a little weird, but get the idea, right? No gloss. 2 cans of clear have been dusted. And we can see now where the sun actually hits it, how shiny that is and how much that metallic has come out, and just how wet it looks. So we're gonna let this dry out. We'll touch it for a couple of days, but yeah, we'll probably come out here later tonight and peel some of the masking off without touching anything. Probably not going to pull that foil off until everything else under there is cured. But, you know, good solid coverage across the whole thing. And then I guess the last thing we'll do is bring you back when the rest of the bay is done, which is really kind of that area over there. the bay paint is done. Really, it's just the sides, underneath, and then we finished up the passenger side, or driver's side. So we're gonna hop over to wire looming, let you see what we're gonna do there. Main harness is already out of the vehicle, and we are going to do that, and then also move and clean all of these up, and then see if we can get everything put back together. And while we're doing that, we'll do the video on the Elevate external oil cooler install, which will be right up here before the bumper goes back on. So let's go ahead and take a look at some wire loom.
This T5 engine rebuild is brought to you in part by ElevateCars.com. If you own a Volvo, you've probably heard the name Elevate, but if you've never been to the website, you should definitely check it out. ElevateCars.com has plenty of performance and styling parts for your Volvo. Simply visit the website, find your particular model, and from there, you can dial into subcategories. One particular part that we're really excited to add from their catalog on this rebuild is the open deck sleeves. But even if you're just getting started, you can definitely find something within your budget to get your Volvo stepped up to the next level. Go ahead and check them out, ElevateCars.com.
Next up for the engine bay is going to be a full re-loom and cleaning of the harness. This is the main harness that we pulled out of the vehicle. There's still smaller harnesses, run to things such as the headlights and the fog lights. Those are all kind of really wired in. We're not gonna be able to pull those out, but this one we can do outside. So let's look at the tools. We're gonna have some zip ties in case we need them to shore up any ends, but we also have some different electrical tape. The black for standard. The orange is because on certain areas of the factory harness, we see yellow stripe, we see yellow stripe, we see yellow stripe. Those all indicate where certain clips and holders should be placed on it to make sure that it's properly secured, either to the chassis or to the block. So we will use orange for that. We also have some Dorman. This is the fabric electrical tape, which is going to look, let's see if we have some on here. I saw it on the other harnesses. I don't see any that's being used on this one. And that's going to kind of wrap instead of like a regular electrical tape that we have here, give it a cleaner look. And we have all new loom. We were going to experiment and maybe buy some of this braided and do the whole thing. We actually do have a whole bunch of that, but I think we want to go for more of a factory look. So we just got the regular stuff here. We have a couple boxes of each sitting around, and what we're going to do is it's all kind of untangled here. We're just going to start with essentially one strand, right? And we're going to slowly pull the tape off, pull anything off. And then we will cut a new piece to length, and then we'll do our tape on the end. We will make sure to replace any of the clips exactly where they go. So it's a good idea to do one at a time, because if you go around and start taking these clips off, you take this one off, you take this harness bracket, take all these things off, you go to put it back together, you're not going to remember exactly in there where they went. So I think one at a time is going to give you enough of freedom to really have the attention to detail. It's not going to be quick, but when it's all done, I think it should be looking great. So we'll do one. We'll start by taking, maybe we'll start with this little guy here, by removing everything and then cutting a new piece to fit, putting that on, and then we'll bring you back to show you how that looks. Our first loom is done. We can see it here. So we take a close look. You can see all brand new black, clip in place, all the way down. We ended up not using the standard electrical tape, but this Dorman fabric tape is kind of giving us the look that we want every so often. We're just going ahead and kind of locking everything together. But we can see that first one is looking pretty good, right? Nice clean. So we're gonna go through and try to duplicate that across everything else that we have in there. One day later, the entire main harness has been re-loomed. Take a close look. All brand new looming. Friction tape used. Colored electrical tape to mark brackets and live wires, but not too bad. We have a few smaller harnesses inside the engine bay to do, but 4 or 5 hours and let's call it 60 bucks in material. We're also able to look at any wires that may have had been exposed, or the original wire covers were coming off, and we were able to protect those with some new shrink wrap or electrical tape where applicable. So essentially that's kind of what we did. We're not going to show you what we do in the engine bay. It's going to be the same thing, but we're going to hop in there, and those ones that we could not pull out will get the same treatment. So we are done. You saw the wire harness. It is not in here. We're going to put that in when the engine goes in, but everything else has been brand new loomed. There's our power box. Goes where the battery box used to be. But we can see how good everything looks. We're going to look for some new heat tubing there for the coolant pipes. But we did some mothers back to black and did a quick restoration on our plastic pieces that are in there, and that's our final. A few little things we're going to clean up off camera. There's some issues we want to address, but not bad. About 3-4 weeks, and got this thing spick and span.